On our lovely new moon, we have an episode getting ready to come on out on YouTube, and it is the Yaw of Life, Love. Definitely love life and self-agency, though, with integrity. That's love life number one, because you have flaws, but you have equanimity. That means you have the capacity to be you with healthy self-worth. So that's where our lovely spiritual self-help 5D mystics and people are at. So we know this on this lovely new moon. If you think you can half-heartedly love someone, there is no love. It is either 100% or zero. Thank you, Sadhguru. And that's for polyamory and monoamory, because love is that oxytocin gene hormone. It's on when you have your inner child adult in the forefront, which again is where personal development, self-help is supportive. We heal trauma one person at a time, one relationship at a time, because we get to be safe haven, secure bases for each other. And so healthy self-worth people offer other human beings who are also wanting to have what is true love, relationships, and healing that trauma. It's really great. So some of us, we get lucky. Again, we have integration of the brain, and we have a child-centric environment, so we don't need to learn this thing or unlearn it. Also, these sentences aren't something that confuse us. So you will know from Terry Real, he helps couples who have the need for him to go and get their true love, appreciation, have fun as conscious lovers. Okay, so I'm a divine feminine with my own divine masculine, and when it comes to divine masculines, I'm unimpressed when they don't have a divine feminine. We'll get to have some coffee time with that. So here's where you also learn of Patrick Tiahan, who will support people who need a childhood trauma therapist before getting into true loving partnerships. So FYI, we consistently can be working on healing. That's with a good therapist, and then without you projecting childhood stuff, trauma. And that's another side note. We'll talk about that in another episode. But as Patrick shares in this little short that I saw before, you need to love yourself first. And he crosses it out and he says, you need specific and guided help to learn to deeply connect with your inner child and become the parent you've needed all along. So some people, they first need to become their own parent, then you become your own adult. And then you will know what we know here at IHP land, 5D land, divine feminine land with divine masculine land. Okay, so it's called I Know How to Love Myself First. It's not confusing. So he shares the phrase is usually confusing and a shaming letdown. Poof, just love yourself and stop. He says dating beneath you, feeling suicidal, being codependent, struggling with addiction, submitting to others, being so stuck. He says, does the phrase make us feel better? And of course, no, it doesn't make you feel better. But he says, I know it's meant well, but it's one thing that leaves us with an overwhelming how. So when I have met people who don't know how to be their self, they say, why would I want to be myself? Or why would I need you? So, this is where, how about loving yourself first? Nobody's ever said, I don't want to, or I do. Some people confuse loving themselves first with being arrogant, and that's actively not what loving yourself first means. So he says, how do I go and love myself? Do you have some steps? Do you have any exercises? A book even? I do. It's called Unconscious Loving with Flaws and Imperfections. I'm in the process of writing it, and then we have also the inner growth mindset, which we apply. So I have answers, and no person has said, you know what, I believed in the first 3 years of life, and everything you said. No, they're more like, no, Maria, no. People, they treat each other like you see in the movies. And I'm like, no, they should meet Patrick Tiahan. Then they go get therapy, and then they can come and be loving. So 5D mystic here. Divine feminine, unimpressed when you meet divine masculines who don't have a divine feminine, meaning their own inner child, and they're not their own adult. Okay, so you need to love yourself first means you have to have healthy self-worth. Then you will have fun. One, at IHP, you also will know what it means to be in actual love with people. And that's why it doesn't change, meaning you love consistently. So, new moon, beautiful. Off courtship is not someone coming in and this. I did this special thing for you. What? That's not what we're doing here. Okay, so love life for 5D mystics again. You need to have healthy self-worth. Means you're gonna stick around because you're a self-agent. Means you know integrity too. Means you know how to talk to my face, not behind my back. Oh, flaws and equanimity. You have no ill will. Otherwise, you're going to be an envious, jealous, spiteful human being who doesn't know love life at all. In fact, you don't even know 5D, Christ consciousness. So when you meet a divine feminine, we have this. We have the capacity to notice if you're authentically yourself or not, which is why we won't be saying anything to you when you don't know how to love us, because you don't know how to love yourself. We know that the fate of you is yours and that you have infinite possibility. All the masculines do. But it is only if they notice with their amygdala, their community. Are you tending to your herd? Do you do self-regulation effectively or not? Or do you have laundry in your body like that Zen master tells you? So that's also unimpressive Zen master. Some of us know what impressive means. And it means that you don't want to stick in a brain that has not the left and right mode actively working. So we don't romanticize or demonize any pathology. We know any person who wants to love theirself first will know where to go. And here's what we got to share for today, our lovely new moon. It's not impressive for a divine feminine to witness limited consciousness run around with unhealed trauma and maladaptive behavior, calling it love, enlightenment, or human nature for that matter, FYI. We all know about the reptilian nervous system. Not impressive. Again, we need it for a reason. The mammalian heritage is what you actively can use. It's your prefrontal cortex. Human nature, enlightenment, and love involve unlimited consciousness, which stems from the human being's actual makeup with an integrated brain. Your optimized system is seeking to return to its restorative embodiment, self-aware, your birthright mind. Some people, from the ancient times, they don't actually know this because they don't believe in sciences. Or they found it hard to believe them the first 3 years of life. They don't believe the term from Robert Sapolsky that implicit memory means anything. Go figure. They got sensations coming up all the time, but let's not tell them, huh? So your human being's actual makeup, integrated brain, restorative embodiment, securely attached functional adult behavior. That's what life and love life is all about, and that's humanity's true capacity, as well as any actual enlightened mystic. Yeah, the ones who call themselves anointed, we know who they are. So enlightened people are like neuroscientists who tell you all about selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, and going with the flow. Richness is really awesome. So we deal with uncertainty, unexpected, unwanted here at IHP from within you while you get to be yourself, and that's what it is to be in a relationship, and then to go with the flow, your flow, and to say you're a shit, no, you're a shit, no, we're all piece of shit. So we can have arguments and not like cut each other out, cancel, block, unfriend, and do all that. I'm healing, so I'm going to get rid of all these people. Yeah, you're healing, sure. I don't think you're with a good therapist. If you're at that attitude, you're more with somebody who's not anywhere yet out of Elsa Journeyland. Okay, so it's not impressive to see people walking around with unhealed childhood trauma and calling adaptive child or maladaptive child behavior love life, or life for that matter. It's kind of like, oh, you got laundry in your body. I don't want to do this stuff. I don't want to be happy all the time. I want to be miserable. It's immature and uneducated at best. At worst, people who hit rock bottom in the worst of ways, yeah, that's not impressive either. It's very sad. What is impressive is to heal your childhood trauma, to disengage from demonizing or romanticizing pathologies and adaptive child behaviors, or maladaptive for that matter. It's impressive to meet functional adults who know how to talk and manipulate words out of curiosity to engage in conversation rather than interrupt like an adaptive child or maladaptive child does. To do this, let me prove that I'm right and you're wrong. Very interesting. We have fun with it anyways, but it's not impressive. Narrow states of consciousness are unimpressive intellectually, emotionally, physically, and they're not the representation of humanity's actual full potential. Not even a little bit. And that's when you get to tune into IHP for spiritual self-help, personal development, and infinite higher human conscious potential conversations. So the inner growth mindset and lifestyle choice, yes, the burdens of the past are cleared. And that's because you reclaimed your child parts and your whole self. And then you come in and say, hey, I'm me. I love being in unconditionally loving relationships with my flaws, your flaws, imperfections, but with integrity and the capacity to know that we live a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. So that's what true spirituality and mysticism is. Not a gift. It's your human makeup and then tapping into the sphere. It's a relational field. It's a beautiful sphere. We might talk about that. I think I'll have a channel of guidance for you out later. But in the meantime, love life is really straightforward. There's no saga. There's no drama. There's people. And when people are impressive, that means they have their divine feminine, divine masculine. That means you got a whole person who knows how to be their self and say, hey, I really like you. Polyamory, monoamory, which one? What religion are you? What politician are you? What do we do here? And we get to have fun. Successful online entrepreneurs and intellectual human beings, come on over. Academics, all of it. Mystics, come. Let's have fun with woo-woo, spiritual, and sciences people. The pseudoscience lady. It's all about how much Do you know how to have fun with your inner world? Come on over.